5 things I think helped me to get me over the hump and finally get my shop approved. I know this is a very hot topic right now. Everywhere that I read, on every single group and every single video content that I'm watching on YouTube, it's talking about all these opportunities that may be available to all of you once you get your Facebook shop. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not all hype. A lot of it is true. And specifically, if you want to start selling as a business on Facebook, Facebook shops is definitely the way to go and achieve that this year and beyond. What is also true is the challenge that comes with getting your Facebook Marketplace application approved by Facebook. Unfortunately, there isn't a blueprint that actually outlines exactly what it is that you need to do. Now, Facebook does provide you with some guidelines, but they're very broad and they're pretty much left up for interpretation by Facebook as to what decisions they take behind the scenes that will give you permission or access to your Facebook Marketplace shop. So don't be discouraged, because at the end of the day, it's going to take persistence to get your shop approved. In my case, it only took me about 2 weeks to get it done. But in my situation, it was very different. So I'm going to share with you guys what happened in my case. And hopefully it's something that can help some of you get your shop approved and get you selling on Facebook shops today. So first, I want to start out with everything that I did wrong the first time so that you don't go through the same challenges that I went when I started my whole application process for my Facebook shop. One of the very first things that I did wrong in the beginning was that I did not immediately connect a catalog with all of my products onto the Commerce Manager. So this is something I think comes into the approval process, that Facebook wants to be able to verify that you are selling products, and they want to see that catalog on Commerce Manager for verification, and also to ensure that there's trust and trustworthiness with your business page as well as with the shop that you're trying to apply. Now, in my case, I did not link a catalog. I submitted the application process without the catalog, and within a few days, the decision came back as denied. Now, something that's very interesting. Once I talked with other members of the community and I told them what happened in my situation, they immediately told me that you have to go ahead and add products to your catalog, because otherwise you're not going to look like you're a legitimate business. So I went back to my account. I added the products to the catalog, and I resubmitted for review. And within 24 to 48 hours, the response came back, and once again, I was already denied. So who's to say, if I would have done it right the first time, perhaps my account would have been approved. But because I didn't do it the right way, even when I submitted it for a review, either the machine, the algorithm, or someone who was reviewing my application said that I was not meeting their guidelines in order to have a Facebook shop. The fact that I did not have a website connected to my shop, and I think that that's a big part of getting approved and expediting perhaps their review. If any of you who is watching the video has been able to successfully open a Facebook shop without needing a website, please let me know. You can just leave a comment down below. I'll be interested to maybe contact you and kind of pick your brain as to what was your situation. But as far as I know, I think Facebook favors any application for shops that has their own website. As I was saying before, I am someone who is a problem solver, and I like to find ways to get around problems and get to solutions. So this is when I put on my thinking cap and I started thinking, how do I get around the gatekeepers and get my shop approved? Because I need a shop and I need it now. I cannot wait 4 weeks or 6 weeks. I got creative. I remember that I had created a business page on my Facebook account years ago, okay? And I went back to that original page, and that original page wasn't set up as a e-commerce page. It was set up as an individual page because at the time is when I was starting to launch my entire online presence, and I was creating a personal page for me as an entrepreneur. So that same page, I repurposed it and I changed it to an e-commerce page. And this is where things start to get very interesting. And this is why. So my Facebook account has been around since when Facebook launched. So I've been on Facebook since 2008. Okay, yeah, I'm a little bit old. I don't look like it, but I'm a little bit older than some of you guys who are watching my content. But that's not here nor there. So I've been around on Facebook since that time, right? So I know a lot of you who are jumping into Facebook right now either have been on Facebook maybe within the last few years, or maybe you're creating a Facebook account for the very first time. So something that this is my own intuition is that, my account, being it that is so much older, it might have been favored in certain things, right? My account, when I decided to sell on Marketplace, I already had the shipping option available. I know some of you have to wait for it. Some of you do not have it available right away. Now, whether or not that is related to how long you have been on Facebook, I don't know. I'm guessing at this point. But again, I'm just talking about my own personal experience, and this is what I'm seeing. So going back to that business page that I turned into an e-commerce page, the one thing I noticed differently on that old page that I changed was the fact that when you go down to the settings, there's an option to turn on shops. That option was available for me on my old business page. You can actually go into your settings and enable shops. Now, on my previous business pages, the new ones I was creating, I never had that option. I will go down into my business page and look for that shop option feature to enable it. It was never there. On both of the pages that got denied, that option wasn't there. So that right there led me to believe that, okay, I have my same Facebook account, but I have two pages that are, acting completely different. So something has to be up, okay? So then I continued to pursue this with the old page, and that's the one that I went ahead and submitted for the third time to Facebook for approval. Now, a couple of things that I did differently here. For one, before I submitted anything to Facebook for review and approval, I make sure that I created a new Commerce Manager account. So I didn't use the same one. I created a new one. Now, whether or not this comes into play, I really have no idea. I'm just telling you the things that I did differently and how they may have played a role in helping me to get my account approved. The second thing that I did was I used the same contact information, the same address. I did use a different bank account for sure. I was not using the same bank account, before I submitted my application. And the other thing that I did differently was that I used a third-party e-commerce software to integrate into shops, okay? So I didn't want to use a website because I had already used the website that I used before for my other pages. So I had to find a way really fast to integrate a catalog of products to shops so that they would approve me. So I found a provider, and there's tons of them out there. There's actually two. There was one that was recommended by a friend of mine from the community, and there's a second one that I used that I found, which is the one that I use for my application. And I'll link that one on the comment section down below. You do have to pay, but it's pretty cheap. It's not very expensive. And you only need it just for the approval process, because after you get approved, you don't have to continue to use them anymore, right? Because you already approved. So you just need them to get you over the hump. And then, after 30 days, you can go ahead and cancel it. So no worries. Bam, like that. I got approved immediately. I had access to the shop. I had access to the catalog. I was finally inside Facebook shop. I was like, yes, I'm finally in Facebook shops. And the feeling is indescribable, because it was something that I said, I'm going to get it done, and I got it done. Okay. So moral of the story is, don't give up. You'll persevere. It may take you 4 weeks, but you'll get your store. However, if you follow the tips that I've given you so far, it should be helpful. So let's go ahead and do a wrap up. So that was the story of what happened to me. Now let me give you the wrap up of my recommendations, tips, things you have to look out for, and hopefully these things will help you get your shop approved. The 5 things I think helped me to get me over the hump and finally get my shop approved. So the number one thing was that I used an existing Facebook business account that I had from a previous experience. So this is a little bit difficult because it may not be applicable to everyone. Some of you may have never opened up a business page before, and the one that you're opening today is probably going to be your first one. So I don't want to put too much weight on the fact that I had an old business account, because at the end of the day, I just think it's part of it. It's not the entire thing. So don't be discouraged if you don't have an older business page that you can repurpose for an e-commerce page. The other thing also that I want to say is the fact that, my account has been around for a very long time. So I know Facebook likes to talk about, commerce, eligibility requirements, trust and worthiness and things like that. I honestly don't know how much weight it goes into the fact that your Facebook account may been around for over 10 years. Again, this is all hypothetical, and I'm just talking about from my own personal experience. If you happen to have a family member, like a parent perhaps, an older brother who's been on Facebook for a long time, maybe consider starting the application process for your shop with that account before you try with yours. Now, the other thing I think was really the game changer for me, and I think it should be for everyone, is the fact that the catalog. I think the catalog carries a big weight as part of the approval process, because it shows Facebook the type of products, the type of things you want to sell on their marketplace. And obviously they want to make sure that you're not violating any of their policies as far as when it comes to selling things that are branded, maybe selling illicit or illegal things, or selling things that might be with copyright problems or branding problems. So they want to make sure that whatever you're selling on marketplace is going to meet their commerce guidelines. So that's why it's very, very important that you have your catalog ready. And this is where using that third-party e-commerce channel software that I use really helped me out and came into play, because it gave me that link where I can set up all of my products. I have all the pictures already hosted on their side, all the product descriptions, all of that information is already communicating with Facebook directly via that application. And I think that was really the game changer for me. The fact that I used that service really kind of put me over the hump as far as getting my store approved. Had I done it any different way or any differently? Okay. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate your support. The channel has already grown to 133 subscribers. So thank you guys for showing me the support. I really do appreciate every single one of you. And if you're new here, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Like I said before, about 90% of you are watching the content but haven't yet subscribed. So let's do everything in our power to get my channel to at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know it's a very aggressive goal, but hey, you know what? I'm already in this. We are in this together. I want to help you guys. So enough of that. My name is Daniel. You're watching Daniel Sells Online, and see you guys next week with a brand new video. Bye.